Hey guys, welcome to Rotus Review episode 4. We are we're not 4 years old. We're 4 episodes deep and growing in leaps and bounds like the belly of Ambode. But just like the good governor, as we have grown, we have come to master our craft. Shout out to him because when he first started, his administration was a little slow, a little shaky, but now he is hitting his stride. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about a bunch of misfits, a dysfunctional group of people who collectively offer nothing to society. If you said the House of Representatives, you would be wrong, but not very far off. We're talking about the Suicide Squad. I have been waiting for this movie for months, even years. It is finally here and playing across Nigeria in cinemas everywhere. Now, the Suicide Squad is the 3rd movie in the DCEU. What does DCEU stand for? It stands for the DC Extended Universe. What is the DC Extended Universe? An extended universe is a series of films that are intertwined and they all affect one another. So they all reference one another, events in one film that start off in the next film, and so on and so forth. It's like a soap opera, but with full motion pictures. Here's an example. Did you know that Nigeria is a cinematic universe? No, you didn't? Allow me. The first movie in the Nigerian cinematic universe is The Avengers. No, not those Avengers, those Avengers. High octane action movie with pipelines blowing up in the South. And the events in that movie affected events in the next movie, which was Crude. Not Creed, the boxing film, Crude. High-octane drama which involved the fall of the supply of crude oil coming out of the country. Now, events in that movie affected events in the next movie, which was a tragic comedy called Forex. The less crude you sell because of your volumes falling, because of the Avengers blowing stuff up, the less Forex that you earn. And when you earn less Forex, you now affect events in the next movie, which is what? Fuel subsidies. If you're not earning as much money, this movie was very intense. Parents, kids everywhere were fine-tuned into this film. If you're not earning as much Forex, well, you have to take away fuel subsidies. And what happens when you take away fuel subsidies? Well, people have to pay more for fuel subsidies, and that's how we end up in the next film, rationing. Now, remember, this is all fiction. The Nigerian cinematic universe, none of this stuff actually happened in real life. Okay, let's get back to Suicide Squad. Now, the first film in the DCEU was Man of Steel. Came out in 2013. Events in that movie, which surrounded the destruction of Metropolis, ended up being referenced in the next film, Batman vs. Superman. After Batman vs. Superman and all the things that happened there, we now come to Suicide Squad, which is where we are now. Next year, the next movie in the DCEU is Wonder Woman. She's getting her own solo film. And then after that, Lord Jesus, Justice League. We get a Justice League movie, the first Justice League movie that is coming next year. So 2017 is looking really exciting. Suicide Squad is not exciting. I did not enjoy this movie, and I will happily explain myself and tell you why. First of all, what's good about this film? The visuals. It's like Nigerian universities and plagiarism. They ripped out the visuals straight from the comic book, so it looks really, really good. However, there are too many characters, and as a result of that, some characters suffered more than others. Now, there are only 4 characters that I think were worth sticking with in this movie. First, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was interesting, Harley Quinn was fun, Harley Quinn was funny, and Harley Quinn was crazy. My favorite character in the entire film. The second character I really liked was Deadshot. Hey, it's Will Smith. Will Smith is Will Smith. He's a legend. But the thing is, Will Smith can be so Will Smith that he kind of overshadowed the character. And so I ended up, instead of looking at Deadshot, I was looking at Will Smith playing a guy in a costume shooting lots of things. Now I wish he had kept his mask on so we could focus more on the character. It reminds me of Deadpool. Anybody remember Deadpool back in February, Ryan Reynolds? Same thing. Majority of the time he had his mask on, so we actually focused on the character rather than Ryan Reynolds. Now the third character I really liked, Diablo. Diablo was the guy who could control fire right out of his palms. I like the fact that they gave this guy a good backstory, a good background. I cared for Diablo. I cared for what happened to him in this movie, and I really liked his character. However, towards the end, there's a twist. He does something which wasn't executed very well. I thought was very, very cheesy, but still, I like Diablo. The fourth character is a character that everybody's been looking forward to, okay? Jared Leto's Joker, all right? Now, the thing is, a lot of his scenes in the movie were cut from the trailer, so I didn't get to see enough of Jared Leto, and as a result, I can't really compare him to Jack Nicholson's Joker or Heath Ledger's Joker. I need to see a little more of him. But I will say this, the relationship between him and Harley Quinn was intriguing enough to the point where I would love to see a movie with just the two of them, which isn't very good news for Suicide Squad because it pays less attention to the characters, which were not very interesting. Honorable mention to Viola Davis, who plays Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller is the secret agent who puts together the Suicide Squad. Viola Davis is a great actress. She played that role with gravitas. She was very good. Now, the rest of the characters, completely unnecessary. Captain Boomerang. He was so annoying. He was a nuisance in the film. There were parts of the movie where I was hoping that they would just kill him off. Didn't add anything to the movie. Katana, this was sad. Katana in the DC universe, in the comic books, is a very interesting character. She brings a lot, has a healthy backstory. They didn't focus on any of that. They just threw her into the movie and she didn't add anything. Completely unnecessary. This one really breaks my heart. Our very own Naija boy, Adewale Agbaje, he plays Killer Croc. And when Killer Croc was announced, I was so excited, but he's not scary. Not scary, not menacing at all. Let me tell you the Killer Croc I was expecting. This Killer Croc is what I was expecting. He's from the Batman video game that came out in 2015, Arkham Asylum's series of infamy or something like that. That's the menacing, I mean, this is a human crocodile. He's supposed to strike fear just looking at him. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Finally, the worst of all is the villain in the film. The person who they're all put together to go and fight is as exciting as the tracksuits that the Nigerian Olympic team wore on the opening ceremony at the Rio Olympics. Just totally underwhelming, totally uninspiring villain. I didn't care for the villain at all. Unfortunately, we can't show you a picture of the villain on the Rotus review because the movie studio made sure to keep him under wraps. So you have to go watch the movie and actually see the villain and make up your own mind. Now, another issue I had with the film, we have to talk about studio interference. Warner Brothers, the studio behind this movie, they were very taken aback by the reception that Batman vs. Superman got back in April, May when it was released, okay? Now, these people said that the movie was too dark and too gloomy, kind of like the face that Buhari made when he found out how much work he had to do to fix Nigeria. And so as a result of that, the movie got a 29% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was very, very low. Audiences were divided. I like the movie. I really like the movie. In fact, maybe one day we'll do a retro review on Rotus Review. We'll go back and then I'll tell you exactly why I like the film. But people were divided. As a result of this, Warner Brothers panicked and they decided to reshoot some scenes in Suicide Squad. It was already done, but apparently it was very dark and they didn't want to go through that again. But unfortunately, because the studio wanted to interfere and lighten up the mood, you end up with somebody like Captain Boomerang, who is supposed to be a serious character, ending up looking like a clown in the film. And it just didn't work at all. Also, David Ayer, who is the director of the movie, he was given about 6 weeks to write the script. I mean, who gives a director 6 weeks to write a script unless you're doing some indie film or something like that? So he didn't have enough time. So the script feels very rushed, very disjointed, the timeline of the movie. Pay attention to the relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker. There's some flashbacks in the film where they give a little backstory to the two of them. Two of those scenes contradict each other and you're like, wait, what's going on here? What kind of story are they trying to tell? That I think is a result of the rush script. So you add the rush script together, you add the disjointed timeline, you add those really bad characters, you add a horrible villain which nobody cares for, and Suicide Squad ends up making history on the Rotus review as the lowest rated film that we've ever looked at. I give this movie, tragically, it breaks my heart, a 1.5 stars out of 5. I didn't like this movie very much. I don't want to go see it again. But hey, look, it divided social media. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people didn't like it. Let me know what you think. check out the movie, then hit me up on Twitter at Rotanquote, ROTANKWOT, and let me know what you think of the movie. Thank you so much for spending time with us on our 4th episode. Keep watching the Rotus Review, and please keep watching the movies. Take it easy.